Spydahs Web, and there's no show without lunch. It's our question and answer session for this week. We have two questions, but before I answer questions, a bit of an explanation. I'll be going into this in more detail in the appropriate playlist, which is for Space Hulk. I am in quite a bit of pain and discomfort at the moment. I'm incredibly sore and I am drugged up to the eyeballs on painkillers. Prescription painkillers. And yesterday I continued with painting Brother Dino, whatever his name is, and transferred everything onto my hard drive and promptly deleted everything off my hard drive. Now, this is not so much a problem because I haven't got very far with Brother Dino, but it means that I've shot, yesterday was the third video I'd shot. I've lost the second video completely. I've tried data recovery software, I can't find it at all. I don't know what's happened. Whether I'm using the recovery software wrong, I don't know, but I just can't seem to find it. But we have the third part, which is now going to be number 2, and when I come around to doing the next bits, I will be explaining what I did in the missing video. It's not much, it's just the just did a bit of touching up on the red before I went into doing the cloth areas and the purity seal parchment bits. So I'll just be explaining that. But as I said, I'll go into more detail in the next video when I come around to doing the next part of Brother Dino. Another thing I haven't done, another thing I've lost is the audio for part 3, which is now going to be part 2, which is, so that'll be a camcorder microphone job instead of using the audio from my phone, which I've started doing recently. So that's it for Brother Dino. Can we have some decent names for these characters, please? Now, onto the question. Onto the questions. Oh, get off a minute, get off a minute. I need to just nip and get something. Won't be a second. Oh dear. I'm sorry about that, I forgot about one of the questions. I need to show you something. So, question 1 is from James and his stuff. Hello, how are you doing, matey? His question was, or the message he left was, great vid, do you play pen and paper RPG? No. Well, I'm saying no. I started one a couple of months ago. At the Games Club we had an all-dayer, and I went and myself and Steve Dutton, Anita and a couple of others there started off a modern day zombie apocalypse type RPG. Unfortunately I became slightly unwell during the course of the afternoon and had to leave before anything major happened, but that was a pen and paper job. That's so far the only thing I've had any experience with pen and paper with for RPGs. But who knows? In time I may do more. What I did I enjoyed. So the thing is I can't remember what it was called. But I remember it being, we were all members of a special ops squad, and we all ended up in like a Hummer, whatever you want to call it. And one of them mentioned about getting aqualungs for some strange reason. I said, well, if we're having aqualung, can I have another Jethro Tull? Because I don't want to be listening to that all the time, so can I reach the branches? And we end up listening to having Jethro Tull be mentioned, which I always like to drag into things. I'm not saying I'm a fan or anything, but so that's the answer to that question. No, I don't really play pen and paper RPGs, but I'm not averse to doing so. It's just that I find having something visual on the table in front of me is another point, like a miniature or something. I like having that there so I can actually see what's going on, because with the way my medical condition affects me, concentration is a very precious commodity to me, let's put it that way. But yeah, there's the answer. No, I haven't, but I'm not. No, I don't, but I'm not averse to playing them. I'll try anything once. Second time if I enjoy it. Ladies. Anyway. Sorry, I couldn't resist that. Now, the second question is from Skilled Zebra. If you can hear me over Laddie munching on his bone. Hey, how are you? How can I do the place where you put the paint? Paper, water, sponge and water, is that it? Regards. I'm assuming English is not your first language with a question like that. Okay, so what he's talking about is my wet palette. I bought the Winsor & Newton one, which has that cover on it. I'm not lifting it up because there's water in it and it might sort of like get wet. I did I don't know if there's an unboxing or a quick look at video for that. I will put a link in the description below, and there might even be a link up here somewhere for it when I get into editing. It comes with a pack with the papers and a little very thin spongy type of material, like a thick card, like a cartridge paper. I don't like that. I didn't like it when I first used it. So what I did was I went to my local supermarket, which is Asda, and I do not want to be accused of product placements, so other ones are available, but this is the one I got. Okay, it's a Minky 2 extra thick sponge cloths, hold 7 times its weight in water, and it looks like that. It's got straight lines on one side and diagonal lines on the other, crisscross lines. I use it sort of like with that side up under the actual palette paper. Now the palette paper I use comes from the Winsor & Newton line, which is this acrylic palette paper, but by all accounts you can use what is it, wax-free baking paper. I've not tried it, so I've not looked at it, so I don't know. As somebody who paints a lot in acrylics, as well hanging stuff, I tend to use this stuff. I'm down to my last sheet now, so I'm going to have to get some more. It's a little expensive, but if you want the cheaper option, instead of buying the Winsor & Newton one, a little A4 paper storage tray you can get with the lids on. One of those could do. Or if you like, if you've got a bit of a sweet tooth, there are certain nut-based chocolates that are associated with ambassadorial parties. You know, the ones that little ball type things wrapped in gold paper. FR. All the chocolates are available. They come in like a squarish, a flat, or they can come in a flat squarish tray type thing with a lid on. One of those would do. Obviously you have the added bonus of eating chocolates to empty it out first before you start using this as a palette, but you could use that with a bit of this spongy stuff on the bottom of it, some wax-free baking sheet on top. It has to be wax-free because the water will have to seep through it and make the paints wet at the base to keep it moist and usable. And then just add water. It's a play about at first if you don't really know what to do with it, but you don't want to completely drown it. You want to just have it so that there's a little bit of water around the edge of the sponge, and then you just place the water on top. Add your paints as and when. A little bit of water on your brush, and Bob's your Auntie Margaret, as they say. Or was it Uncle? Don't know. But that's the way I do my wet palettes, and an option for a cheaper version. As I say, I've not tried the wax-free baking sheet, so it's just what I've heard. I stick with the acrylic palette paper from Winsor & Newton. Happy with it, so it may cost that little bit more. I don't care. If it's what I'm happy with, it's what I'm used to, fine and dandy. But as I said, that's the other questions I've got today. Let's put it that way. I hope I've answered both of them to the best of my ability, especially the one about the palette, the wet palette from Skill Zebra. I hope you've understood what I've been talking about, and give it a try. It's much better than using a dry palette because your paints last a lot longer. There's still paints on my palette that I put on Monday, and it's now Friday, and it's still usable. But pardon. Yeah, so as we'll say, you can either go for the basic option just so you've got everything and you know what you're doing. That is the Winsor & Newton set, or you could just make your own in bits and pieces. Have a look around though on YouTube to try and get some more advice, because as I said, I've not tried the baking sheets, so I'm not sure how good they are, but other people, I'm sure it's those, but just to make sure, I would, if you want to make a wet palette, then just have a look around on YouTube and get advice and get recommendations on how to do them. Yeah, that's what I do for my wet palette, let's put it that way. It's just a case of you need the tray, you need the tray first of all, sponge on top of the tray, paper on top of the sponge, water. In fact, I'd wet the sponge first, right, and then put the palette paper on top of the sponge and allow the water to soak, come up through the paper. But as I say, you still need that spot of water on your brush just to make the brush a little more pliable as well as the paint. So that's the not quiz questions, what am I talking about? That's the question and answer session done for today. If anybody can recommend a good, easy to use, free preferably, data recovery software, please let me know, then I can try and get the stuff that I've lost back. But I don't think I'm going to bother. In fact, don't bother with that bit. I'm just going to leave it as is. I'll talk you through what I do, what I did in part 2, in what is now going to be part 3. Part 2, or the new part 2, which is going to be a bit a step further on, is going to be put up fairly soon, but it won't be after this video, just so you know what's going on. And then in part 4 I'll go into it in a little more detail. But for now, as always, take care, God bless, and bye for now.